Hello and welcome to the Wildlife Moto channel. So as you can imagine, today we're going to be talking about tools. Now, regardless of the bike that you've got, it's pretty likely that there are companies out there that make a ready-to-go, pre-rolled toolkit to suit your machine. So whether that's a Japanese bike, a British bike, or an American bike, you know, there are different companies out there that put these little kits together, super convenient. You just chuck them in your panniers and hopefully you've got all the basics covered should the worst happen out and about on the road. So today we're going to compare and contrast three very different kits from different price points. In this particular case, these are all modern BMW kits. So there are some nuances in terms of how they're put together. But you know, you could pick three kits from any particular bike and do a similar comparison. But this is really about showing you the kind of level of detail, the level of quality, and the flexibility in these kits at different price points. So we've got over here in the red corner, we've got the Cruztools B2 kit. And this one comes in at £140. So this one at the kind of more budget end of the spectrum. In the blue corner, in the middle, we have the Moto Hanza. This is the Pro Series toolkit for BMW bikes. This one comes in a kind of mid-price, so we're at about 220 for this. And then over here, SBV, this is the kit that I've had for the longest time. Absolutely love this kit, but this one is more expensive. It comes in at £265. I've made other videos about this kit if you want to get really detailed on that. But we'll jump in and we'll have a look and compare and contrast these kits right now. And let's start with this one. So Cruztools Roadtech B2, this particular kit for BMW motorcycles 2019 and newer. So it comes with a cardboard outer box, which will probably end up in the bin. We've got a little bit of string, decent quality bag. Oh, there's a sticker. Quick shakedown test to see how the bag holds all the tools, and 100% for this one. So 34mm big spanner here. Guessing that's for your big axle nut. Then a whole range of standard spanners from 13mm down to 8mm. Adjustable spanner. Well, I say little, actually quite massive. So I'm not a big fan of these things, but you know what? When you're on the side of a road and you just need something doing, who cares? They'll get the job done. I did notice across the different spanners, you know, on this 13mm spanner here, it's kind of a nice satin finish. And then we get down to the 10mm and it's just a very different texture, very different kind of look and feel. Do you care? It's up to you. Then we've got a little baby mole grip, tire pressure gauge, zip ties and safety wire for if things have gone really wrong. And then we've got a whole range of hex wrenches. What are these? So these range from 8mm down to 3mm. Nothing particularly fancy, no kind of bit sets in here or anything like that. Some Torx keys as well. So I believe this one here is a T50. And then they go all the way down to T20. Where I think this kit really falls down is in the little socket set. But it does come with a little extender so that you can, isn't it cute? You can put this together like that. And then we've got a 13mm. And I think we've got does it go down to, that's an 8mm. Not the best in terms of the socket kit. Another couple of handy tools in here. So we've got a kind of axle key there. We've got a screwdriver, which does a number of different things. So you can flip the heads around like that. You can also use these inserts to deal with, I think that looks like, is that 6mm socket? And on the other side, an 8mm. And then again, you can flip the different screwdriver heads around. They've also thrown in some gaffer tape as well. What do you think in terms of value? They want 140 quid for that. I think probably at this price point, you might get better value by putting your own together. Okay, let's move on to the next in line. This one coming in at £220. And as you can see here, it's from a company called Moto Hansa. And this is their Pro Series toolkit, number MTT00153. Ooh, it's quite a bit bigger. We've got this really nice Velcro system to wrap it all together. And you can see here, it's just a much more complete, much more kind of grown-up kit. And now for the Moto Hanza's shakedown test. And I'd call that a bit of a disaster, to be honest. Some nice handy compartments for extra things. Another little pocket there. We've got some bigger mole grips. We've got spanners that range from 19mm all the way down to 8mm. It seems like we skipped the 16. Nice, good quality. Branded Moto Hanza. Ring spanner on one side and an open crescent on the other. Then we've got a, decent sized wrench in here as well. And this has got a little bit adapter. And the reason we have the bit adapter is because we've got a whole load of different bits. A torque set that runs from T40 to T8, and then 2 screwdriver bits. We've got 3/8, and we've got a whole socket set here. In fact, all of these sockets are 3/8, even the really big one. The smallest socket is a 10mm, and then we've got some star sockets in there as well. And they're all 3/8, which is quite good, so we don't have to worry about adapters and things like that, which I like. Some interesting nuances with this wrench itself. A little locking pin, so that pin pops in, and then it locks both ways. Honestly, like the number of times I've accidentally popped this in and it's just locked in like that, and suddenly I'm like, oh, it won't ratchet. It's a bit annoying. It gets bigger, which is quite good. Another little nifty tool that you get in the kit, just put this away, is this. So on one side of the equation, it is a little bit driver. So you can put your bits on there. It's kind of magnetic, but it's got a retaining system in there. If I pop this little collar out here, flick it down like that, and then put the collar back in there, we've now got a T. That's quite a nice little, I think that's pretty cool. So there's all your Torx bits there, ranging from T40 to T8. We've got a T55 and a T50, a T45. Your hex bits and some flatheads in there as well. Hex ranging from 2 to 8mm. We've got a deep set spark plug thing going on. Got an extender that you can use for the wrench. You'll notice on the extender and indeed on this deep socket here, you've got the little cutouts, which you would normally use a spanner for to give you some extra torque. But weirdly, this is actually designed for a 16mm spanner. So although you can get on it with the 17, it doesn't fit properly. It's not for 17. So I'd be a bit worried about potentially rounding that off. Ideally, you'd have a 16mm in this kit to do that. We don't have one. So another slightly odd quirk in this kit, just to kind of get into this bit. So this bit you'd use for your coils and your oil caps. So it kind of clicks in and you pull them out. So it's specific for the BMWs. It's got a special hole that you can put something through to get some leverage on it, but there's nothing in this kit that will do it. So yeah, there's a couple of little holes in this kit, a couple of little flaws, but all in all, it's a pretty decent kit. Axle key, 17 to 24mm. And we've got another socket here. That's the 16mm deep socket, and this one here is the 14mm. So that is the Moto Hanza kit, about £220. Should we look at the SBV? Rather than the cardboard packaging, we've got this little bag here, which is great because if you want to, you can just kind of throw extra things in this bag. It's kind of a nice thing to have. SBV shakedown test. How's the bag going to do in terms of holding onto all the tools? Well, it's dropped 1, so that's pretty good. So I've had it for a while. This is their BMW kit, coming in at £265. So it's at the top end of the spectrum, but you do get some nice to haves in here as well. This is in my top 10 favorite tools of all time, just ever. I absolutely love this. It's a 72 tooth ratcheting wrench, and it's just an absolute thing of beauty. It is such a lovely, well put together, high quality tool. I absolutely love it. It's really light. I think it's made of aluminum, and it just feels so good in the hand. Then we have the 17mm spanner, so that's in there. This whole side of the kit is actually detachable, so if you wanted to split them across your panniers and things like that for size, you could do that. And in here, we've got other things like, this is our bit adapter for 3/8. So put that on there and put all your bits in there. Our bits, talking of which, live over on the other side. So we've got a huge range of bits, really nice quality bits, ranging from T50 all the way down to T8, and some screwdriver bits in there. So if you want to pick one of those, they just click into here. The little locking collar, again, takes care of business there. And that is a lovely thing if you're working with bits. Massive 10mm hex, all the way through down to a tiny 1.5. So you get those in there. They live over here in this left-hand compartment. Then for the BMWs, we have a few kind of specific, quite special bits in here as well. So because of the way the switchgear fastens up on some of these BMWs, you need quite a long reach little kind of set of Torx keys here. So T9 and a T15 and T25 and a little flathead screwdriver bit, all put in there for dealing with your switchgear. That's a T55, that's a T60, and we've got a T50, and then we've got the big 14mm hex bit in there as well. And then we've got our axle key, again 24 to 17mm, and then this guy, which you might recognize from the other kit, very similar bit of kit, this for your oil covers and your coils. And with the SBV kit, they say that the idea is you stick this tube through there, and then that's going to give you your leverage to put it out. So that's something that was kind of missing in the Moto Hanza kit. Whoop. Sockets that range from, that's a 17mm. These are all MIT style sockets, so they're designed so that they can work with the closest counterparts over on the other scale. That would be an 11/16, but also very good for like damaged fasteners, things that are a bit rounded off and stuff like that. One of my favorite little combos in this kit is this guy. So this is the kind of multi-tool. So we've got a ratcheting ring spanner over here. We can use it as a bit set there, so we can bit driver, should I say, so I can put that through there and use that as a ratcheting driver. Little extension tube here, which we can plug in, turn it into a T, use it as a ratchet, put our little bit adapter in, throw on a socket, sorry, should I say. So loads of options and combinations with this. Use it as an extender. Then we've got a whole different range of spanners, down to 8mm, all the way up to, yay, we've got a 16mm. And the great thing about our 16mm is that we can use it on these beveled sections on things like the extender, or indeed for our deep set sockets. That deep socket there is 16mm, and then we've got a 14mm. So on the 13mm spanner, ring spanner here, like that, and it comes with a special adapter, so you can plug that in there like that. Put your sockets on there like that as well, and just use that as a ratcheting wrench. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do, kind of clever combos that you can throw together with this kit, some of which I've demonstrated in previous videos. That you can, for example, put your 16mm on there like that, and then get on there to get some serious drive going on. If you wanted to go even further, you could, of course, use another spanner and lock it on like that. We can put this thing together like this. Then I think you can even, if you want to get some kind of real crazy combos of things going on, there's all manner of different things you can do in order to kind of join these tools together for any combination of weird and wonderful repairs that you might need to do on the side of a road on your Beamer. And we've got a nice set of long nose mole grips. Definitely the most complete kit, but also, bear in mind it is also the most expensive. So if you think about all three of those kits, so this kit, the Cruztools kit, and the Moto Hanza kit, I suppose in summary, I would say if you're right at the kind of thinking about the cheaper end of the market, maybe you've got, 100 quid, 150 quid, thinking about the Cruztools thing. Personally, if it was me and I'm in that price range, I would probably think about putting together my own kit. Maybe grabbing some secondhand bundles of tools off of eBay, getting yourself a nice tool roll set up from Amazon, and just kind of throwing something together, because there's really nothing particularly special about that kit. When we get into the Moto Hanza kit, you're starting to get more kind of innovation. They're starting to think more about how to bring those tools together. We're starting to think about combination tools, some smart stuff like the kind of extending ratchet and the screwdriver that turns into a T-handle, the kind of breadth of the tools that you get. We're starting to see more value for money, even though the price is going up. Then I think by the time you get to SBV, you've got a kit here that is just infinitely useful across multiple bikes. And also, I use this kit as my kind of main kit in the garage. So I actually completely rebuilt my old R100 CS pretty much with this kit. Obviously, there's other tools that do other things like specialist tools and all that, but probably 80% of what I did on that bike, I could do with this kit. So the fact that you've got that range of tools, the fact that you've got all those different combinations of things, just for me makes it a lot more usable. But of course, there's the money side of it as well. It is the most expensive, coming in at about £265. So there you go. That's what you get. Regardless of what kit you're thinking about, there are options out there for different people on different budgets, with different requirements. I would say there is absolutely nothing wrong with putting your own kit together, but you definitely start to see, I think, more value for money up at the slightly higher end, where you're paying for not just the individual tools, but the kind of smart way that they all work together as a system. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. If this has been useful, I would massively appreciate it if you would give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more, because I'm definitely, as the weather's changing and we're starting to think about going out on a few trips and things like that, definitely going to bring the camera with me for a few of those. So hit subscribe, get a notification when those videos drop. And until the next one, ride safe.